it got me to thinking this is exactly how people get into financial trouble. One, because finances were never talked about in the home. And then two, they work hard, they deserve it because they couldn't afford it when they were younger, so they can afford it now, and I'm running it up. And even though you may not say, I'm going to show them, that's basically what your actions are saying. Because when I would buy those things, you get the compliments. Oh man, that's a nice shirt. Oh, that's Gucci. Oh, you got Gucci sneakers, sandals, your jeans or this or that, whatever. And it feels good. So I get that. But if you're doing it to your detriment, where you have more money in your closet than you do in your portfolio or your savings account, that could be a potential problem. Hey, family, this is Che Willis coming back with another episode of Wealth is a Journey podcast. Guys, this is episode 88. 88 weeks of consistency, 88 weeks of getting it done. We moving and shaking out here. We have so many things coming up, so many things going on, different speaking opportunities. I'm about to start a community very, very soon, so y'all stay tuned with that. The community is going to be based around accountability regarding finances, where you want to go, what you want to do, and helping us achieve goals together. Um, a lot of you have heard about the morning meetup, and I talk about it all the time. But what I've realized in the morning meetup is that I've gotten so much further as a result of being a part of a community. So I figured to myself, why not start a community regarding finances? Because if you're on your financial journey and you're by yourself, you need that constant reinforcement to make sure that you're getting things done, and you need that accountability group that's going to help you get to your desired result and goal. So stay tuned. More to come with that. If you are new to this podcast, thank you so much for joining us. On this podcast, we talk about faith, family, and finances, among other things. If you are a return listener, watcher, or subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Hopefully, we are adding value to your lives on the way to the M's. Because as always, we are on our way to the M's. So, guys, this week we are going to talk about some good stuff. Stuff is going to be probably a little bit triggering, but listen, we got to get into it. We got to get over some things that we've experienced to get to the other side, and that's what we're looking to do. So, I just recently went to a family gathering. We had a nice meal, good conversation. And I don't know if any of you are married, but sometimes you have a conversation with your spouse. And then the conversation, you guys are laughing, joking, having a good time. And then just like that, the conversation goes left. How it happens, I don't know. So sometimes my wife is yelling at me and I'm like, yo, how exactly did we get here? Now, this conversation has nothing to do with me or my wife, but there was a conversation going on. And then one of the family members was triggered because of something that happened to them years ago. And the question was surrounding something that happened to them years ago, and it just triggered them, and the conversation just kind of went left, right? So it everything got resolved. It was no big deal or whatever the case may be, but it got me thinking of trauma and things that happened to you when you were younger that make you move the way you do today. So the things that happened to you back then make you move a certain way today. And the reason that I move financially the way I do today is because of the things that I may have experienced or not have experienced back then when I was younger. So walk with me real quick and just see if you understand exactly what I'm saying. So when I was younger, I didn't have a lot of money when I was young, before I was able to work. So you go to school, your clothes might fit a certain way, and then your friends, they make fun of you. Now, they're like, "Oh, look at your bummy this or your bummy that, whatever, your jacket or your sneakers or whatever the case may be." When if you think about it, they had just as much money as you did, or not had as much money as you did, and they're making fun of your situation. So you go through that as a kid, and different little challenges you have as a kid or whatever the case may be. But those situations make you move the way you do today. What I mean by that is, and I went through this, when I was able to make money on my own, I started buying. I'm talking about like I'm 16, 17 years old. I might be making, two, $300 every 2 weeks or something like that at a part-time job. And I go to, which was a popular store, which was Strawbridge's in Ardmore, Pennsylvania. Or King of Prussia Mall, I would go to Macy's, something like that, Lord and Taylor. And I would buy Tommy Hilfiger, Polo, Nautica. That's what was in back then. So I'll buy those things because I remember being made fun of. So I'm like, okay, well, now I'm getting money now. Now I'm going to buy these nice things and nobody's going to be able to say anything. And I'm feeling good. So I'm going through that. And then that then transfers over to when I'm an adult. So now, instead of making $200-300 every 2 weeks, I'm making $28,000 a year, killing them. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm saving up for a house and trying to figure out the financial landscape and how I'm going to navigate life. And I'm like, the way I set my budget up, I would have my income, my expenses, and then whatever I had left over, I would be able to spend whatever I wanted to. So when I started making a little bit of money, then my taste changed. So I would buy higher end things, or I would go to, instead of going to Red Lobster, I would then go to, let's say, Ruth Chris, because I'm making more money. So my appetite changed. So when fast forward to when I had a kid, then when we have our son, we get a Gucci diaper bag. He's wearing Gucci sneakers, Gucci sweatsuit, Gucci onesie. Why? Because I remember what it was like being a kid and not having the things that I wanted. My parents did a great job, but the things that I wanted, I couldn't have because we didn't have it. So now I'm buying my son all these nice things. I'm driving a nice car, things are going well. But am I where I want to be financially? Not really. So it got me to thinking, just this whole interaction that happened at the family member's house got me thinking about different traumas that we went through when we were kids that make us move the way we do today. And talking to people, doing budget coaching with them, a lot of them are in this cycle of, I work hard, I deserve it. I'm running it up, I'm buying these different things, even to their detriment. And I went through the same thing. So I'm not saying look at you, I'm not doing that. But the thing about it is, the hungrier the more your appetite grows and the more money you make, the more your appetite could grow if you don't get off of this hamster wheel of, I work hard, I deserve it, I'm going to buy whatever I want, based on me not being able to afford it when I was younger. And again, I went through the same thing. So it got me to thinking, this is exactly how people get into financial trouble. One, because finances were never talked about in the home. And then two, They work hard, they deserve it because they couldn't afford it when they were younger, so they can afford it now, and I'm running it up. And even though you may not say, I'm going to show them, that's basically what your actions are saying. Because when I would buy those things, you get the compliments. Oh man, that's a nice shirt. Oh, that's Gucci. Oh, you got Gucci sneakers, sandals, your jeans or this or that, whatever. And it feels good. So I get that. But if you're doing it to your detriment, where you have more money in your closet than you do in your portfolio or your savings account, that could be a potential problem. My name is Che Willis from Wealth is a Journey, and I help families living paycheck to paycheck live the life that they want to live through budgeting and investing. And I understand the word budgeting can be scary. However, what we're doing is we're lowering your expenses so you can have that money make you more money. And I also understand that giving your financial information to a total stranger is very scary as well. So what I've done is created a digital product on my website to take the fear completely out. You don't have to give your information to me or anybody else for that matter. The digital product gives you step by step on how to set up a budget, why budgeting is important, so you can get to living the life that you want to live starting today. So go to wealthisajourney.com. Again, wealthisajourney.com to start living the life that you deserve. So, what I want to talk about today is being able just to identify like where you want to go, where you want to be, and maybe getting off of that hamster wheel of the appetite for the thing that you were not able to afford. And again, I went through it, so I understand. This is not me calling anybody out. Like, I understand because I went through it. But what I also understood is that, and I didn't get it at first, but I wanted me to be out of the bondage of debt. And the thing about it is, you can't buy all the things and then also get these toys or these items that you want to buy if they're high end. Like, you can't do both at the same time and get a good result. I mean, you could, it will just take longer to get both results. But once I realized that it was a better feeling to look at my savings account or look at my investment portfolio, and it happened gradually. Like, I took a step towards, okay, well, maybe instead of spending 500 on this meal, because I used to even take family members out. We used to go to Roof Chris, whatever y'all want, you go get it. And when my mindset shifted to, hey, if I want to be wealthy, I need to focus my energy on investing and not focus my energy on where I came from or what I couldn't afford back then. And I'm going to show them now that I can afford that, because you may not say that, but you're saying it. Like, it's it's a pride thing sometimes to let me show them what I can do or whatever the case may be, even though you might not outwardly be saying it. Um, and I know that from experience, because you want the likes, and you want the, hey, that's nice. Like, that's a form of pride. Like, you're doing it for that thing. So once I realized that buying these things is to my detriment, or because my appetite was growing. So I went from, going to the nice dinners. Now I'm buying, like, I had a pair of Gucci rain boots. Like, I'm a grown man. Like, what are we really doing? You know what I'm saying? So like my appetite was growing. So then when I realized that if I focused that energy from buying the things to buying the things every once in a while to now shifting that energy into investing and then seeing that grow. And then when it came time to say, okay, well, maybe I'll go buy a pair of, Louis Vuitton, whatever the case may be. I was so focused on seeing my investments grow that I didn't really care about that anymore. So where I was super excited to go, spend $600 on a pair of sneakers or $500 on an outfit or whatever the case may be, like I shifted that energy over here to investments and saw that grow, and it was a better feeling to see that. And then I understood in talking to different people that getting out of this hamster wheel as you get older gets more and more difficult. Like trying to stop doing something that you've been doing for 40 plus years is tough. So when I'm talking to, people on this podcast and having guests on and just talking to the audience, letting them know like the earlier you do the thing that you're uncomfortable with, the better off you're going to be. Like that's why I'm saying that. Because the longer you do the thing that's to your detriment, the harder it's going to be for you to stop. So, the again, the two things is not being financially savvy as a growing up, and then also just buying the things that I want to buy when I want to buy them once I had the money. So my there's no steps or anything like that on this video. We're just having a conversation about how we can get off of the hamster wheel, and it's all energy and it's all attention. Wherever you focus your energy at, that's where the thing's going to grow, whatever that is. So if you take some of that energy off of buying the things, going to the fancy dinners and feeling like you got to pay for everybody's meal and things of that nature. And I'm not saying don't do that, but if you're doing it at a high clip, again, to your detriment, and only you know that, then if you pull that back a little bit and then focus your energy on the investment piece, then your eyes are going to be open to the possibilities that, hey, if I invest enough and then I want those pair of sneakers or I want to go take that person or people to that nice dinner, I can take some money from my investments and then do that. But then you'll realize that your investments are growing so much, like you really don't want to do that. So then you're like, okay, well, I'll figure out another way to actually make this happen. I put it in the budget. You can do that too. So I just want to more so encourage you just to know that like the traumas that we go through as children show themselves as we are adults. And if you think back to how you move as an adult and why you move the way you do, I'm sure it's attached to some type of traumatic experience that you had. And it could have a good outcome or a bad outcome. And in this case, I just thank God that I got off of that hamster wheel, because again, buying those things is not really that important to me anymore. And can I buy them? Sure. But again, it's really not that important to me. Like if you see me on the street, sweatpants, t-shirt, because it doesn't really matter. Because also what I didn't say is that if you try to look wealthy and then you encounter somebody who is actually wealthy, based on the conversation that you guys have, they're going to know if you have it or not. Like you understand what I'm saying? Like they'll know based on the conversation. Yeah, it's all a facade. It's all a look. And it's the equivalent of you having a conversation with somebody and then they start using all these big words and you're like, fam, what are you doing? Like just talk regular. You don't have to do this. That's the equivalent. So, um, And at the end of the day, like if you encounter somebody with money, they don't care what you have on. And the person without money, they don't care what you have on either. So that's freeing in itself as well. So I just wanted to I was thinking about that, and it really made me think about childhood and why I moved the way I did. And then in talking to different people, why people move the way that they move. And I'm here to tell you that when it's all said and done, uh, if you're a family person, if you have a family, they can't spend the clothes. So if you don't have investments set up, or if you're not actively trying to get your finances in a better situation by getting off the hamster wheel, then they're going to probably have the same traumatic effects that you had as a kid that made you the adult that you are today. So realizing that has been so freeing for me. And I felt like telling this story or telling this side of me of how I kind of like got off the hamster wheel would hopefully help somebody else, because we need to understand that we didn't just arrive to be this person. Like, you went through different things to make you the person that you are today. And what I'm trying to do is use the stuff that I didn't like as well as the stuff that I did like to let you know that I was this way and now I'm another way and I came out okay. So you can do it too. So hopefully that helps somebody, man. Because that going to that dinner, even though the dinner had nothing to do with what I talked about today, it reminded me of my childhood. So uh again, wealth is a journey. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you next week. Peace.